Hi everybody, Nick McDonald speaking. Thanks for watching this week's ICE commentary video on the Russell 2000 and other US equity markets. Looking here, and let's start with the daily chart. You can see that actually we've had a bit of an up week last week, which is good. It actually stalled really because 4 days here, the last 4 days of the week, the highs were pretty much the same. And as we kind of hit up against this resistance, so could move that line down slightly just to get the line of best fit. You can see there's quite a bit of resistance through there, as well as just one touch up above that. So we are up against resistance, but I do think for us we'll get through it. I've never been too concerned about this, and one of the key reasons is that other index markets, as we looked at last week, have already broken up through resistance. So the Russell is just heading up against it now, but one reason that I think it'll break, like I say, it's lagging the other markets, and another reason is that on the weekly chart, this is very, very minor, if any, resistance at all. So when we look at this high, all it is just a recent high within an uptrend. It's a higher high within an uptrend, just like this high was, which got broken easily. And just like this high was, which got broken easily, we're just up here going and making higher highs, and as we do so, these levels are expected to be broken. The resistance on the chart is not at 830, it's at 850, so 850 is coming up. This is resistance because it's multiple touches. We will come up and we failed, come up and failed again, and come up and failed again. Multiple touches at the same level. That's what I define as resistance, not these touches through here. So this is looking very bullish indeed. The weekly chart having had this nice pullback, bullish candle in the buy zone, rallying up. I expect it to test 850 quite soon. Monthly chart, don't want to repeat myself too much because it's the same as previous weeks. Very bullish, should be breaking up through these highs at 850, and actually makes 850 look quite insignificant as well when we look at it in terms of a monthly chart trend. So that all looks very strong. Back to the daily chart, just looks good. In fact, it provides some trading opportunities potentially for a breakout of this range as it breaks up through this kind of 827 level and up towards 850 above that. So it looks very bullish indeed. How am I trading this? Well, at the moment I actually have a long position open. Let me show you the kind of trade-off placed this week. Same kind of thing that happened on the weekly chart. I just go and look for it on lower time frames. So you'll see on this candle here, and this was called out to my newsletter subscribers. I'm not just doing a hindsight trade here. But my newsletter subscribers saw this trade. All we had on a 4-hour chart was a run up, pull back in, bullish candle. These lines here are my entry, stop loss, and target. So as it broke up through the green candle, that's an entry with a stop below the low and just targeting 1-to-1 for the first target. So that's an example of a trade, and you can see that's one that I did take, but there's other, many examples of the same kind of setup happening here. Pulling back into the moving averages, bullish candle, break up through the high and rally up. So it's the kind of thing I'm looking for. You see it almost set up here on the 8-hour chart as well. And I'm looking for that kind of setup. So on time frames from a 4-hour and 8-hour, but right up to a daily and weekly. And at the moment we are in the middle of such a trade on the weekly chart, having pulled back in, bullish candle, now broken up through the high, and that's another thing which is just giving me that confidence we should be getting up to 850. Just a very quick look at the other index markets for those who have not seen how bullish they are. If you're just a Russell trader, let's quickly look at the Dow. And you'll see that any kind of resistance at all has completely been smashed right up and broken. These other index markets are a little bit overextended, and they're more overextended than the Russell is, which actually just puts the Russell in a better position that if these markets do have a bit of a pullback this week, the Russell hopefully will not have any need to be pulling back as far as what these ones have, because it's simply not as overextended from its averages as the other markets are. So the Russell looks very good this week. I'm continuing to be very bullish. There is undoubtedly a bit of short-term resistance in the way, i.e. daily chart resistance, but the reason I think this will be broken with relative ease is based on the higher time frames. It looks like we should get up through it, and I remain long, I remain bullish, and I think it will get into 850, and then that is when we'll really start to think about what happens next. Hope that helps everybody. Have a fantastic week. Speak to you soon.